started singing when I was country boy, working on the farm, working at Clarence Moore Farm in Creekmore, working with my uncle Ed Grissom. And flying in music by myself in the day, I could sing and I could hear myself singing, and I thought I was singing, but I wasn't really sure. But then I started singing in the choir at school, and then people started telling me that I could sing. And then I started singing at clubs at Durham, and then I started realizing that I could sing. So it started from that, started from when I was young, from the farm on up. And then I started singing in quartet, things like Fire Rising Star and Golden Echoes, things of this nature. I started singing with them. Then I really found out that I could sing. So that led from there. So then by this time I'm getting ready to get out of high school. And I sung at the baccalaureate for the graduation. And I sung a song, what is the name of the song? I can't even think of the song. It's been so, well, anyway, it's Bomb in Gilead. That was the song I sung for the baccalaureate song, Bomb in Gilead. And Tom Allen, he told me then, he said, you sing. And we started from there. I started from there, and like I said, started singing in the gospel group. Then I started singing with the Blind Boys. I sung with the Blind Boys for 18 months, drove and sung with them. And after that, I started singing blues for myself, because I used to sing with James Thorpe and the Jets, and we sang on the weekends at Golden Wheel. Then I came on, and that's when I started getting with the Blind Boys. And then after I left the Blind Boys, I went out on my own to sing, and I met up with Chuck Harris, and he told me about a guy that needed somebody to sing. But at this time, I didn't have no lyrics. I didn't have no lyrics or anything. So I inquired to people, how do you start, how you make a song? So first they told me, you make a poem, write a poem. Then you take the poem and you turn it into lyrics. You make it rhyme, you turn it into lyrics. Then you take the lyrics and you sing the lyrics and you put music behind it. Then you got a song. And that's how Free Me Love was developed. Free me love, let me go. Free me love, let me go. Free me love. I've written a poem, then come there, and those are the lyrics, and then turn the lyrics into a song. And you usually, at that time, you would have to tell a story with the song. The song would have to tell a story, not just hollering and going. You would have to tell a story. Fell in love with somebody and they did you wrong, or you finally got a way to get out, or you can't get out. Anything, but you had to tell a story about it. So I was very impressed. I was pleased and happy that I had made a record, even though I hadn't heard the song. You know, when you go into the studio, in that time you have to go in the booth and you put on these ear mufflers and you can hear the band, the music in your ear. Then you have to sing. You don't get out of step with the music. And then when it comes out on the other end of the 12 tracks, 24 tracks that they have, then they fix it, then they play it back to you. So when they played it back to me, I was amazed, because I couldn't believe it. I was waiting on the record. And people would ask me when it was coming. Chuck Harris was at the radio station and all. So I said, it's coming, don't worry about it, it's coming. So he called me, Bob Rowley called me and said to me that we're going to be out in about 3 weeks, we're going to have this thing on top charts. And I'm pleased about that. But during that time, I could hear a voice saying, no. I didn't know what the cause of it and why, but it was a voice saying no. But I continued, kept singing, making records, making records, making records. And then this boy called me one day and I asked him what was going on because Bob Riley told me in 3 weeks. And he said, I got bad news for you, Bob Riley Day. I said, Day? I said, well, what's going to happen now? You know, I got to get my record out. So he died. And then they sent me a lot of records that he had already ordered. And I sold a lot of records. I sold a lot of records. Take them to the record shop and sold them myself when I do programs like come up and do the Stallion Club for Benny Line and all that. I would sell records, sell pictures. And 2 years later, I found another guy. And he and I started on the other songs that I have. It's Gonna Take Two Strong Hearts and Body Language. Those are the ones. And I Want to Go Back Home. So he in return told me the same thing that Bob Riley had told me. He said, boy, we got a hit. You know, we're going to roll with this. This is going to be a hit. 2 months, he did. 2 months' time, he was dead. So then it come back, the record there came to me. And I questioned myself, am I hearing something that I'm supposed to be hearing? Am I ignoring something? So that voice kept saying no. And I was determined. I wasn't going to stop. So I told my son, I said, now you can sing, and I know you can sing. I'm going to give you this record. I want you to learn every one of these records, word by word. And I'm going to put you in the studio and I'm going to cut these, remix them and cut them again. And he said, that's good, I'll go with it. That's all right. So he went on and took all the songs and started listening to them. And 3 months later, he couldn't even talk. Couldn't talk, could not talk. I don't mean just say a word, could not talk. For 3 years, he could not talk. Then this dawned on me, this ain't for you. That voice that was telling you no, had to be the voice of Jesus Christ, telling me what to do. And then, right after that, I got caught for drunken driving. And they took my license and everything. You know, nobody ever, if you haven't never lost your life, you don't know. But I lost it. It means, you can't get around, you can't do nothing. So I didn't bother with the record no more. And so after the last time I was caught for drunk driving, I started making vows with God that I was going to change my life. I wasn't going to sing anymore blues, and I became a deacon. And I came with the deacon, and as I become the deacon, it was a head deacon, 2 or 3 more deacons, and myself. The preacher left, and they went with him, so that left me, only me at this church, 1 deacon, by myself. For a whole year, I was a deacon by myself. Didn't have nobody else. And then this pastor came in. He finally started getting deacon. So, first year I was there by myself. The second year I had 11 more people with me. And then I came down with this brain tumor. Got sick. Had to go to the hospital and all that and got it all straightened up when I went to the hospital. Then I went on, called him and told him about it. So he called me in to do an MRI. Went in and did the MRI and found out that. But after I was in the hospital and after I went to do the MRI and came back, waiting on the results back from the MRI, a hurricane came through. And nobody didn't have no light. The doctor didn't have no lights, and nothing didn't have no light. So after the lights came back on, he read my MRI and called me immediately and told me, asked me what was I doing. I said, I'm getting ready to go to work. He said, you can't go to work today. Get somebody to take you to Johnsonville's emergency room. Stay there. I got a doctor coming to see you. Went there and did all of that. Doctor came in and told me who he was and asked me who I was. And he said, you got a brain tumor. And we got to go in and take it out. Then we were going in Wednesday to take it out. So that's when we all, Anna Mary, Louie came up to see me that Wednesday came in. And he cut it out that Wednesday. And after then, I got out the hospital, went back home, went to my apartment. And I was head was hurting so bad. At the time, I didn't know why it was hurting there, but I was smoking cigarettes and the nicotine and tar was going to sell it right up on where the operation had been. And then I promised God that I would serve him. And I got better. I got a whole lot better. And that's when I knew that I had made a complete change from singing blues, coming back into the house of worship, or God's house. Mm-hmm. And up until this day, I'm still at church, still in church. And of course, I left one church and was on to another church, but still a deacon of the church. And been in the ministry for 3 years. Sort of preached for 3 years in the ministry. And hoping to get my license soon. I don't know when, but I'm thinking it's going to be soon. Mm-hmm. And that's where from then until now, where I'm at right now.
So why did they call you Slick back in the day?
Slick was a name, came from hair being cut real short. Mm-hmm. The guys now we used to call it Julius Caesar. And then at that time they would call me Slick because my head was slick. Mm-hmm. That's how Slick started. And then on up to now, well, they don't call me Slick now no more. Some people still in North Carolina call me Slick, but people here call me Jimmy. Mm-hmm. And that's how that Slick name started. That name started in Butler, North Carolina, between Pete Line and Marvin Line. Called me Slick because my head was, didn't have no hair. And they would cut Julius Caesar closer then than they did do now. Now they just where you can see the hair, just won't see the skin, but it was slick during the time when I was getting, Jane Moore would cut it all of it off.
Mm-hmm. So what made you come to Richmond?
I had to leave North Carolina because I had this band, and as I said, I was singing the Golden Wheel and everything. And these two guys, I went in the pool room to get another guy. And when I come back to my car, my suits were gone. I had suits, rested out there, sharkskin suits that I come on stage with. And when I come back, they were gone. And I said, I can't go sing, I ain't got no suits. So I would look for them, and then nightfall, when I came by B&G Grill up there, Favorite Street, these guys under the trunk, they had the trunk up and the light was on. So I pulled in there to see what was going on, and he asked me if I wanted to buy a vine. At that time, a vine was a suit. He called me, said, you want to buy a vine? I said, what you got? He said, I got some nice vine, man. He said, what size you wear? I said, well, size, well, at that time, 40. He said, I got the right thing for you. And I looked, before I got to the car, I knew it was mine. And when I got to the car, I said, let me try it on. He said, oh, it'll fit. He took me the coat. And on the inside of the coat had J-E-T. My initial right on it. I put it on again, gave it back to him. I said, yeah, I'll take it. I said, how much you want for it? He said, I take 10 for each. I said, okay, I give 10 for each. I said, but first, I said, you look over there, see that white Bonneville right there? I said, that's right. That's where you got them out. Took them out of my car. I said, I'm going to give you and your buddy to put them back in that car. So he said, hey man, come on. I said, no, I ain't gonna come on. You take 2 or whatever you want to take and put them in there. And on the way there, I shot both of them. I shot both of them. One of them tore his stomach all up and he had a colostomy bag on and all this stuff. And the other one, he tried to run. I shot him, he's still hopping today, I guess. But the idea was when I went to court, the judge said I took the law in my hand. I shouldn't have never done that. I should have called the police or something. But I had the gun with me all the time, so I won't need to call on police. So here's what happened. He gave me option. You can do 5 years in the penitentiary, or give you 3 hours to get out of town. Give you 48 hours to get out of town. And I'm going to take your citizenship for 2 years. I ain't had no other choice. I had to go. But I had a wife and a kid. They had the house furniture and everything. So I came to Richmond. And started living with Smitty. And then started running a service station. And went back to school to Greensboro to complete the course of service station so that I could have my own service station. And did that. Took me a month to go to school to do that. Then came back and got the service station. And that's why I'm still in Richmond today. That's the reason why. I would probably have been in North Carolina today, still in North Carolina. But I had to leave. I didn't have no other choice. You know, I had to go 5 years. I won't do no 5 years. You know that's common sense. So that's why I'm here in Richmond today. But I think it's a good thing I came from.
You would think people come into town and they need back. Did they just get in touch with you, or you just knew they would come to town, or how they did it?
Well, Benny Ed or Nick one would call, or come get me. You know, either one.
Okay.
So that's how we did it.
Okay.
You know, and I used to sing at those clubs. What you call
So the juke joint?
No, the big clubs where they play golf and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I used to come and get me to do it. I used to think, hey, one guy he was an organ, and he do all the organ playing. I just sing solo out in that place, and I always had work to do.
And so, what kind of stuff were you involved in when you were singing? Like, you know, it was drugs, alcohol, women, different things like that.
Yeah, all that.
Talk about that.
Yeah, well, I used to hustle drugs, and but I was lucky. Never went to jail for drugs. Never went to jail. Let me go. Respect yourself. Oh, you got me. Shut the